PCOS affected how I saw my relationships and my future. Hi, my name is Upenda Nights Barasa, and for the last few weeks, I've been sharing my PCOS diagnosis journey, my lifestyle changes, the symptoms that I've experienced. If this is something that you're interested in, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and comment if you end up enjoying it. For me, one of the hardest things to deal with was not just the physical, but psychologically, PCOS has really affected my life, how I think about things, the decisions that I make, etc. In my last video, I mentioned that when I began my lifestyle changes, for the first time in my life, I had a period for 4 months consistently before I got pregnant. On the topic of pregnancy, if you do have PCOS, you understand that one of the things that you will encounter, especially when you just get your diagnosis, is you might never have kids, lose weight. Like, those are the statements that they will tell you. Just lose weight, or just get pregnant. Sometimes they tell you just get pregnant. Imagine a 20-year-old and 18-year-old hearing these words that you'll never have kids. It kills your dreams even before you've started dreaming about them. In 2025, when I was pregnant, that really changed my life, because I had evidence that I could actually get pregnant, and it stopped becoming such a worry for me. However, before that, the psychological torture of that statement was, it made me approach relationships feeling I needed to volunteer this information, especially when getting to know somebody, and when things start getting serious, I'm like, hey, I do have this thing called PCOS, and one of the symptoms is infertility, especially in the future. Is this something that you're willing to be a part of? And having that conversation was really difficult, and sometimes it eats you up. It's like you enjoy somebody's company and you think about, oh my God, what if they hear about PCOS? Are they gonna stay? And it's like, I think about many other people who tend to navigate relationships without having to explain this part. But once you have PCOS, it becomes something that you tend to think about a lot. Another way PCOS affected me, and this changed the trajectory of my life, it affected my daily existence, how I show up in almost every part of my life, was acne. I dealt with acne for so long. It became a part of my identity. It became all I could think of. And I remember there were days, especially during COVID, I would lock myself in my room and pray to God and say, God, just do something, do a miracle. Tomorrow when I wake up, my face is clear. Like, it became a thing I was praying for every single day. And in the morning, the first thing I is rush to the bathroom and look at my face in the mirror, just to see if God actually answered my prayer. It was that bad. It was that bad. And living in a society where people don't even know what acne is. They know people do have breakouts and pimples, but they don't know there's a medical term for it. So I was dismissed. I remember many a times just trying all sorts of skincare products, like masks, those home remedies that you'll see on TikTok. And maybe my siblings would see me or my parents would see me and they would just start laughing. And even regardless of how many times I told them it makes me uncomfortable that they laugh, they still laughed. I mean, those moments pushed me into starting a podcast called the Free My Skin podcast. Yeah, so if you're a subscriber on this channel, I'm pretty sure you know about the Free My Skin podcast. It started because of my acne. I used to post episodes on Spotify. I no longer do, because I don't feel connected to my acne stories anymore, or I already let out that side of me. But I talked about how it affected my relationships, my confidence, my self-esteem. I couldn't even stand in front of a class to answer a question. And I'm a teacher, by the way, in uni, I remember. And I used to be this confident kid who was, in all music and drama festivals, lead actress in front of people performing, to somebody who had so much anxiety and low self-esteem because of my skin. And even moving to Japan, it amplified those feelings, because Japan is like a different culture and you're different. So you tend to notice your differences a lot more. When I got pregnant, obviously, I mentioned that the pregnancy ended in a miscarriage after 5 months. Women who have PCOS tend to have a lot of miscarriages within the first trimester. At least from research, there's a link to PCOS and miscarriages. When I was pregnant, I was worried about that specifically. And even when it ended at 5 months, I was confused because I was like, okay, it's 5 months, so it can't be PCOS. But away from that story, I don't want to cry. But I started watching creators like Maraji. If you guys know Maraji, she's a Nigerian comedian and content creator, YouTuber, all that. And I think she has shared her PCOS story, and she got married a few years back. And she has had 3 kids back to back. In fact, she just gave birth maybe last year or the other year, I don't remember, very recently. And her story really inspired me because I was like, there's hope for women with PCOS. And for many women out there who have PCOS have had successful birth stories as well. So it's just one of those things that was kind of lifted off my shoulder because I do have proof that I can carry children. But it's still this conversation that, right now I don't feel compelled to talk about it in the same way or in the same heaviness that I used in the past, especially when I get to interact with people and talk to them, men to be specific in this case. But now I do have another layer, which is a miscarriage that I always have to talk about and how it has impacted my life, right? The good things that came from that pregnancy was after the miscarriage in June of 2025, I have had a consistent period since then. No month has passed without a period. For the entire period of that pregnancy, I had the clearest skin you could ever see on earth. Friends, I was shining like gold, And even though it ended and everything, my skin has remained clear since then. And I only break out during, ovulation. Like right now, my skin is breaking out, but it's not as bad. It's just like a few pimples on your cheeks or on your chin. After ovulation, it disappears until the next month. And for that, I'm grateful. My prayers were answered, just not in the way I expected them to be answered. Another thing was weight loss. Obviously, I told you guys that I made lifestyle changes. I lost so much weight from around 90 something to 74, which was my starting weight during pregnancy. But because I had severe HG, for 4 months, I couldn't eat anything that was cooked. Yeah, that's how bad it was. Water made me throw up. Brushing my teeth made me throw up. Like almost everything made me throw up. It was severe that for 4 months I survived on oranges, kiwis, apples, juice, and to some extent bread, especially towards the 4th, 5th month. By the 5th month, I could eat some things. Like towards the end of month 4, I could eat like fish, ugali, but no meat. I couldn't stand any form of meat. I could eat plain rice and just boiled potatoes only, but nothing overly cooked. Or onions, I couldn't stand them. Anything that needed to be stewed or fried, I couldn't stand it. So by the time the pregnancy ended, I was at below 65 kgs. And after that, my cravings came back. My body was fighting for its life for the last few months. So the appetite that I had, I ate. After eating, I wanted to eat. After eating the second time, I wanted to eat. Like I wanted to replenish all the nutrients. I guess that's what my body was trying to do. It changed me that even the ways that helped me initially with like the walking, the calorie deficit, my body changed. So those things don't work for me anymore. The 10K steps that I do every day have become a baseline. So I can't still lose weight just walking 10K steps. I have to do more. The calorie deficit, the reason why at the moment it's not working, because hunger for me right now feels like HG or morning sickness and pregnancy. Because my body experienced that, throwing up, nauseous, feeling dizzy, collapsing every time, no sleep for months. My body associates hunger with that. So every time I try to go on a calorie deficit, every time I'm hungry, I feel like somebody who's pregnant. Like the exact symptoms I experienced within the pregnancy period, I experienced them when I try to stay hungry because my body has associated hunger with trauma. So now I have to change how I eat. The foods that I used to enjoy before pregnancy completely changed my palate. I can't enjoy them. I don't like sweet potatoes as much. I hate green tea and hibiscus tea, yet I used to enjoy them. I hate oranges, apples, kiwis, can't stand them anymore. So my body just changed, and now I have to find new ways to manage my PCOS. However, because of that experience, my insulin levels regulated in a bit. And now my PCOS symptoms are close to nada. Like I said, the only thing I struggle with is sleep at the moment, because since then my sleep hasn't stabilized, because during pregnancy I couldn't sleep at all, especially month 4 and month 5 at all. So till today I'm still struggling to stabilize my sleeping pattern. But majority of my PCOS symptoms disappeared just because I got pregnant. But at this point, I don't really know whether it's because I got pregnant, because the acne, I could link it to pregnancy, but I started getting a regular period even before pregnancy, for at least 4 months before pregnancy. So I know it's because of the lifestyle changes. My mental health improved greatly. Even now, that's not a problem for me. I've never been anxious since, but that's because I started walking. This video is just to show you guys how PCOS is not just about the physical, honestly. It's about even what it just does to you mentally, because the average person doesn't go around thinking, oh, I need to talk about never having kids with my partner. They don't think about the facial hair that they're growing, every day. I know there are women who have to shave their face, shave their bodies every morning or every 2 days because of PCOS. And I can imagine how draining that is, because for me, when I noticed that one beard, I was like, nah, I need to change my habits. And it's because I couldn't imagine dealing with acne and having to deal with facial hair as well. So I can tell how draining it is. And I really sympathize with women who struggle with facial hair, to be specific. I don't want to imagine what you guys are going through, and I just want you people to feel seen and heard, that there is somebody who actually understands how it feels, because outside looking in, many people might not understand until you're on the fire yourself. PCOS is very complicated. Like even the weight situation, they will tell you lose weight. But then again, losing weight with PCOS is not easy. And weight gain with PCOS is not just about what you eat, it's about your hormones. So you can never really truly lose weight if your hormones are not regulated. So it's just one of those things, it's a conundrum. And I wish there was more awareness around PCOS and support for women with PCOS. So if this story, if you identify with this story, please leave a comment down below, a word of encouragement for our sisters who are struggling as well. If you're a man and you have a partner, or somebody who deals with PCOS, this is your sign to offer support emotionally or in whatever way you can, because it's not easy. I hope this video gives you a bit of consolation. See you again next time in the PCOS series. Upenda Nice Barasa. Subscribe. Bye.